Hello, good morning and welcome to my channel. My name's Natasha, and if you're new here, I post videos talking about my life experiences. I'm trying to be as authentic and honest as possible, hence why no makeup, hair wet. I'm just trying to show up as I am. Posting these videos is kind of like therapy to me. It's really helping me to process where I'm at, and although I hate to post negative videos, it's just I'm posting where I'm at and I'm not in a great place, and I hope that one day I can look back on these videos and think, wow, I've come such a long way, and I hope that one day I'll be able to help people and be like, look, I went from this to this. So that is my hopes. However, just for today, I was diagnosed 6 months ago with autism and ADHD. I struggle with substance abuse and addiction, and I'm 30, I'm single, I struggle with relationships, and today's video is about burnout. I don't know what I'll call this video, but I am self-diagnosing myself with chronic burnout, and I feel like I'm definitely not alone in this. I feel like there's a lot of people between the ages of 18 to 30s, 40s that are really struggling with burnout, and one of the main reasons I think it is that we've grown up with the internet, which means that we've been taught to be available 24/7 all the time, without breaks, and that's exhausting for anyone, right? So yeah, I currently am really struggling with burnout, which I have for the past few years, but right now it's critical where I have to cut off all my social I have to say no to any socializing, I have to say no to anything that's absolutely necessary, so that's just work, so that I can prioritize sleep and to start to feel better again, which I have. And I spent 2 weeks with really bad insomnia. I literally couldn't sleep, and what kicked that off, I think, was I met a romantic partner. It was really intense, really quickly. We were staying up on the phone, and I am now really realizing how powerful love of a drug is, and I'm wondering if I've ever been in love with anyone or it was just my addictions, because I'm addicted to the dopamine and the rush of the beginning of relationships, and when they start to become, I mean, this one didn't. I actually was conscious and cut it off before it could get to a relationship, thank you God. But in the past, I have thought these relationships were love and gone through with them, and they've ended up really toxic, and they've gone on for years, and it's just been this like cat and mouse, chasing the dopamine hits and hurting each other and traumatizing each other in the process. Which then went hand in hand with addiction for me, which was eating disorder, binging, restricting, using drugs to sedate myself like Xanax, sleeping tablets, alcohol, ketamine, and then using stimulants to boost myself up. Again, alcohol, I can use that as an upper or a downer, really. Drink vodka to bring myself up, and then I could drink red wine and whiskey to bring myself down, cocaine to bring me up and to socialize, amongst much more, many other things. Thank God now I've been sober for 2 years, the best thing I've ever done. Thank God for 12-step programs. Thank God for Food Addicts Anonymous, which has kept me out of my eating disorder. Although with this, what's happened recently, I did actually start to do something crazy with my food. I started to eat, because I wasn't sleeping throughout the night, I was just awake lying there, so I started to eat my breakfast earlier and earlier till I was eating my breakfast at 3 a.m. And then one day I decided I'm just gonna eat, because I'm in FA, we have 3 weighed and measured meals a day. If you eat anything out of that, it's called a break. So, and we should really stick to eating times, but I ate all my meals between midnight and 7 a.m. And then I told my sponsor, I'm gonna do a 24-hour fast now and then get myself back on track, which I still think could have been a good way, but he added in 2 meals. So then I ate again. I had my 3 meals before 7 a.m. Then I had another meal at midday. Then I had another meal at 5 p.m. And then in the middle of the night, I was puking up, being sick. So yeah, I don't know what's good for me anymore. I am back on track with my eating times. For the past few days, I've ate breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 12, and dinner at 5, between 5 and 7. And I must say that the Food Addicts Anonymous program is so good for anyone who's suffering with burnout or eating disorders, because it helps you to get into an eating routine. It makes sure that you're having all the necessary nutrients that you need, and how much of it you need. Because I know that before I found FA, I was chronically burnt out, and my body constantly thought it was hungry because it was so chronically tired. So I was just eating and eating all the time, and it was just like, then that led to shame and anxiety and isolation, and it was just really horrible. So thank God I found FA, because the support system as well, you can call people throughout the day and go on meetings. And I think when we're going through chronic burnout, we're unable to socialize or help anyone in our lives, we still need some type of connection. So going to these 12-step meetings, for me, I can go and sit in them and I don't have to talk to anyone. I go to Alcoholics Anonymous as well. In London, they're absolutely great meetings, full of banter and amazing people, and you can just sit there and listen, and that just makes me feel less alone. But yeah, being chronically burnt out is really lonely, because it's hard for me to do things that I know would help me, like socializing with friends, going to the gym, dating. I would love to have a relationship, but I honestly just don't have the energy for that. I just about have the energy to work, and when I say work, I can't do any kind of serious job at the moment. I can't do a 9 to 5. I can't do anything that's mentally exhausting. I'm working as a waitress, even though I have a master's degree and I have how many years, like well over 12 years of sales and admin experience and property, but I just can't work in those fields while I'm not well. And it's really hard to admit, because I don't want to think of myself as being like disabled or unable to work. I'm always gonna be doing something or working, and I really want to get back into I say back into health, but I was not really healthy before, because I was using substances to work 3 jobs and just doing crazy things all the time for many years. So this is why I've ended up not well mentally and physically, and I've definitely damaged my nervous system. I get tingly hands and arms go dead all the time. I get heart palpitations out of nowhere. Yeah, circulations in my legs is not good. Muscle aches. One of my coping mechanisms is acupuncture and massage, which really helps me, but obviously living in central London, massages are about £80 a time, so I can't do it every day. I wish I could, but I can't. So that's one of my coping mechanisms. Breathing exercises. I do 30 minutes meditation every day, but I was reading something this morning that spoke about disassociating from our bodies, and yeah, I can get that when I get too overwhelmed. I disassociate from my body, but also sometimes meditation can do that. Yeah, I'm not going to go too far into that. Meditation's great. Let's just leave it there. yeah, and the way that chronic fatigue and burnout has shown up for me is being irritated by everyone, being triggered by everything, struggling in relationships, having a lot of anger, disassociating myself, yeah, having a lot of food cravings and drug cravings, not giving into them, thank God, for a 12-step program. Yeah, so that's that. Also, so what have I done to help myself in the past 2 years? Quit alcohol, quit caffeine, which I actually relapsed on recently, and caffeine is a killer. I didn't realize it until I relapsed on it. I did 7 months without caffeine, and then I went back to drinking caffeine about a month ago, and I had 7 coffees in one day, and then that really triggered my insomnia as well. I wasn't sleeping for weeks, and it gave me this boost of confidence that was amazing at the time. But then after a few weeks of using caffeine and drinking caffeine, I realized how much it was messing me up. Actually, I'm just gonna take a sip of my, I have a chicory root that you can get from Holland and Barrett. It's caffeine free, and it's just a brown powder. It looks like coffee, and it tastes really good. And I've been putting some, I paid £120, so I hope it works. I've got some Chinese medicine and some powder, because, you know, I'm kind of just trying everything I can to get better. So yeah, I should be having acupuncture once a week for 5 weeks and taking these herbs. So hopefully that works. As I mentioned in a previous video, I lost my period for 8 months, and now I finally got it back, and I think that is from just changing my job and just saying no to anything that stresses me. If I'm in a stressful job, I have to leave, find something else, and just prioritizing program over everything. I also had to gain some weight to get my period back, which I didn't want to do, but yeah, obviously. And I thought about this as well, like if you're chronically burnt out and you're craving foods and you're a bit chubbier than you want to be, I think don't feel bad for it, because I think maybe our body might need extra nutrients while it's healing, and then when we're better we can be skinny again, I think. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to talk about where I'm at with my burnout, in case anyone else is going through it. Statistics show that 34% of adults in the UK said that they were highly stressed either every day or most days. So I think that's a really high number, and having chronic burnout and this high stress like this can increase heart disease by or chances of having heart disease by 79%. And from working in the corporate space, I saw a lot of people having heart attacks and strokes and developing epilepsy, which I truly believe is from stress. It's one of the things that put me off working in those environments, because I don't want to have a heart attack and die at work, to be honest. It's really not worth the money, in my opinion. And I think gratitude, as simple as it sounds, just writing a gratitude list of 10 things every day and sharing it with some people has really impacted my life in a really positive way. It's helped me to be more positive. And obviously the food plan, Food Addicts Anonymous. I'm really happy to help anyone get started on that meal plan if they want to. It's essentially 3 meals a day with 4 ounces of protein, 6 ounces of veg, 6 ounces of salad, and some rice or potato, and a little bit of oil, and oats and fruit in the morning, weighed and measured. Yeah, and I believe that it can help anyone. So if you're interested, yeah, either go to the Food Addicts Anonymous website and go click on a meeting, or drop in the comments and maybe we can connect. So yeah, that's all. I don't like to make my videos too long because in this day and age, who has the attention span? Yeah, just worry for people of the younger generation as well. There's another statistic that 35% of 18 to 24-year-olds are off work with mental health problems, which I also believe is due to chronic burnout and stress, because of the internet and growing up with the internet and feeling like we constantly have to be switched on and in constant communication with people and online. It's just not healthy, it's not good. So yeah, make sure you get lots of rest, lots of water, hydrate, say no to anything that isn't absolutely necessary for your health, and don't feel guilty, and please ask for help. God bless you. Thanks for listening.